Hey, great evening to you all. I hope that you guys had a day full of heart-filling moments. And I hope you guys were able to maintain a high vibe. Because that's what it's all about. Flowing through life peacefully and with ease. The law of least effort, you know? All right, so I'm out here tonight to read. I'm going to read my second book, Your Best You. The choice is yours. And I had mentioned earlier on, I think it was yesterday, that I was going to come out, actually on Sunday, that I was going to come out and read yesterday. And I had gone to work instead. Well, somebody just reached out to me at 7 o'clock and said, "Hey, aren't you coming out to read?" So I was like, yeah, I think I could do that. How about 7:30? And he said, yeah, that works. But I enjoy it when you read. So I'm out here reading. So I welcome you all with a full heart and open arms. So this is the second book that I wrote. My first one was Turning Hell into Heaven. Okay? This is the second one. And this is the second one of the three. Let me get the other two. All right, so when it comes to my books for development, this one is the first one. This one is the second one. And this one is the third one. Okay? Well, all right. So I've read the first one out here. So now I'm going to read the second one. And somebody mentioned to me, so what about all the juicy details in between? Well, I'll show you about that one too. If you want real juicy details, that's this book. Okay? You got it bad, do you? Walk in my shoes. All right? So, tonight, it's going to be the second book, Your Best You, Choice is Yours, by me, written by me, Tobi Staples. And the copyright on this one is 2021. Okay, all rights reserved. So I'm going to do the preface, and you know what, the last two, this is a really easy read. And the last two chapters in this, the easy meditations and the effective mantras, well, I read those to everybody with my first book. So, you know, we can eliminate those two chapters. It's just a couple of pages at the end. All right? So I'm going to jump right into it. Guys, I'm going to warn you now. If you're coming on, I'm not going to see who's jumping on or off. I'm not going to pay attention to that. I'm just going to read. But, yeah, this is as brutally raw as the first book. Maybe even a little more. This is definitely going to be an eye-opening experience for you. Because the things that you're going to hear in this book is maybe are things that you've never thought about. Okay? But be gentle on yourself no matter what you feel inside or what's triggered within you from hearing this stuff, okay? So, I'll start with the preface. Since I decided to blast the world with the honesty of my first self-published book, Turning Hell into Heaven, the demand seems very high for another. So here it is. It'll be as brutally honest as the first, only because I do not know how to sugarcoat anything. I really believe that everybody is unique as to their purpose on earth. I have embarked on a personal mission of becoming the best version of myself humanly possible. This is the joy of our human experience. We are given the free will to live how we want to create what we believe to be our best life. The world is awakening at a rapid pace during this stage of existence. Humans have neglected themselves and this earth for far too long. I'm a game changer who has chosen a different way of living no matter what hell I have endured. It is my duty to share a perspective on life with all that are open to it. Again, I'm coming from the place of heart and going to share some of my insight with you all. You don't need to choose to suffer. I have never had it easy, struggled through life. Myself struggled for 30 years with painful addictions on top of self-hate. I lacked connection with others, so I lacked meaningful relationships and guidance. I didn't know that anything truly meaningful could even exist. I was a prisoner of a misery that I created on my own through constant self-sabotage. Endured many years of painful, self-inflicted, unnecessary guilt and shame. I'm not someone who is trying to put knowledge from sources and other books into another self-help book. I'm a simple person, loaded with life experience, who recently turned their hell into heaven by choice alone. It is as simple as this. If I can do the work necessary in finding the path to becoming the best version of myself, so can you. There are no excuses that are truly valid at the point that I am today. I believe in having an outlook that there are only solutions, no problems. I could have written many lengthy books on excuses for the amount of times I had to get myself out of doing something, or a situation for that matter. It is as simple as this one fact. There comes a time in life when you just won't accept making excuses for yourself anymore. It's not a matter of rocket science. I have no PhDs. What I do have is a load of life experience that is incomparable to most. I have done it all pretty much, as I lived in survival mode for 46 years. The biggest change now is that I did the work on myself and continue to do so. I won't stop. There's always room for improvement on all different ranges. I tried just to be a better version of myself than I lived the day before. In today's world, there is a busyness that fills our worlds with so many distractions that we are often distracted from what truly matters. Every day I try to make a positive change. I personally have engaged and committed to living as my best self, learning with each day what that truly means to its entirety. I learn more about myself as I am human also, encountering a wide range of different situations daily. I am constantly seeking out ways to improve myself on every level. This doesn't mean that I have any interest in being any better than anybody, because I'm not. Far from it. I just want to work to be genuinely a better person with each day that I'm living. I am far from perfect, but I also embrace the fact that I can make choices that will make my life easier. This is not stuff that I am now into, and it is not something you can choose to indulge in for 15 minutes a day like a workout. These are some ground specifics that change someone's outlook once they stop, seriously look at things, and realize how they have been robbing themselves. I'm going to sharpen your insight by telling you what I feel about some fundamental aspects of life as my own personal experience. I have had to completely change my lifestyle. My newly found path is one that I must walk alone to better myself. I am no longer the same person that I had been living as all my life. This is something that I now live daily, getting better as better at it as the time goes by, and I will remain loving and respectful to my true essence. When realizing that we have been living according to others our whole life, it is often scary to start a creation of a better self. We grow accustomed to accepting things for what they are, believing that this is just what we have to live. We don't. I'm living proof of it. It is not about just being a good person, acquiring lavish luxuries, or all of the accreditations for that matter. It's about being a person that lives coming from a place of heart at all times. Living like this is a guaranteed way of becoming your best you. Where do you start? Well, all I can say from experience is that you truly have to first become so fed up of feeling like you are out of control. You have to identify that you do not have, you have to identify that you do have unresolved issues, traumas, fear, guilt, shame that has to be healed. We all say that it's okay, we've dealt with it, or let it go. But you truly don't know what is locked within your memories that are triggering you to act the way that you do. It happens to all of us. I'm a perfect example of this, thinking that I had accepted and healed all parts of myself, yet was awakened to the fact that I hadn't. I have had to heal many levels of myself, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, which I have done time and time again. This is the motivation that drives this book. It is to show the world that suffering is no longer an option, no matter what we are living within our own personal experiences of life. All of it is a personal choice. So why would one choose to suffer? You may not think that you suffer. Humans suffer until there is a level of understanding. Once the understanding is learned, well then, time to move on to a glorious stage of life. So, chapter 1, love for life. Most might think when I say love for life that I mean whether they have love in their life, or if they have created a love for their life. It's totally different. What I ask you is this: do you genuinely, sincerely hold a love for life? Seriously, think about this for a moment. When you wake up in the morning, as you open your eyes, are you thankful that you are actually alive and have been given another day to create whatever you wish? This is where it all starts. This is the time of the day when you set the frequency for what your day will be like. No matter what we are faced with throughout the day, it is never disastrous if we maintain the right perspective. I lived for many years waking up in the morning with a very destructive outlook on life. I endured a lot of self-sabotage, not truly understanding what it meant to have a profound love for life. I had always managed to find something or somebody to complain about or blame. I identified as being someone who really didn't have a chance at having a great life. That I would have to tough it out, whatever was coming during that day. Not only was I waking up with a not so good mindset, I was going to sleep that way too. I had created a constant of problems in my life, and they seemed to be my only reminders of the days ahead. Years of setting goals and never being satisfied with any of my achievements. I would talk myself out of anything good in my life. I didn't feel deserving, as I was trying to hide all of the shame that was growing inside of me from all of my not so great choices while I was in survival mode. During this time in my life, I had to start over many times, hurting a lot of people in the process, not realizing it. I now have no regrets, but can never go back to that thinking now that I have managed to unshackle myself from that hell. The first step to living as your best you would be to embody a full love for life. Love felt so deeply that nothing can shift it. No matter what stresses you may be living, one can make the choice to contain within them a love for life. That leaks into everything that we say and do. Life isn't always easy. Maintaining a love for life just makes all the obstacles a little easier to get through. We all have ups and downs. That is just the way it is. There's a balance to it all, it seems. When things are good, well, they're good. But when things are bad, well, they're bad. We as people allow our circumstances or people in our lives to define us. This diminishes our love for life, as we are in constant fear living this way. The fear is the non-acceptance or judgment of others. Remove that. You're an individual first, before anything else. To fix everything else that has become a disaster over all of the years, you have to go back to the root of these problems. Constantly trying to live up to the expectations of others. This is not living with a love for life. Check yourself. Seriously. Are your decisions made on the opinions of others? Or do you feel within your heart what is the right decision? I honestly have adopted a love for life now. I had to really check myself, and what I found wasn't pretty. Yes, I'm a good person, and I try to make a difference for the better in all that I put my energy into. That just wasn't enough. I had to put so much effort into trying to be a good person, solely because I was thinking about everything and not feeling anything. Not good either. This new love for life doesn't come from others. It has nothing to do with another, to be quite frank about it. I made a choice to maintain my love for life at all times. Yes, life can be very difficult, and I know this first-handedly. So I had to come to the point that I was fed up with not getting the most out of my life. Once completely fed up, I came to the conclusion that no matter what soul searching I did, or what knowledge that I sought, I had to make some profound changes. I had assumed that happiness was a destination because I just wasn't happy. I made others smile only so that I would have a reason to smile. I figured my life was so shitty that why not make somebody else's better? Because I couldn't make mine any better, no matter how hard I tried. Wrong reasons again. I'm so grateful that I'm not living like that anymore. All our life we are told that we will be happy when we grow up, have a family, buy a car, buy a house, settle down, blah, blah, blah. Never once are we told to remain happy before doing any of it, though. When we are born, we don't think with our brains, we feel with our hearts. After being conditioned later in life to use our brains We are also told how to think and how to feel. The majority of the time, the ones who have done the programming are not happy people themselves. Think about that. So not only were you given a certain lifestyle to conform to and given your name, you were also told how to act, how to eat, how to sit. Think about it. The biggest kicker of all of it is the fact that we were taught. No, the biggest kicker of it all is the fact that we are taught what we are to live up to in the eyes of our existent families. None of these choices were for you to make. How different would you be as a person if you were being led by somebody who had a genuine love for life and was a happy person within themselves? Not blaming anybody here, because this shit has been going on for generations. So let's change it now for the generations to come. Simple. Something that is seriously affecting us as a collective, as humans, is the lack of love for life. Seriously, think about it. How different would our world be if every person living maintained a basic, fundamental love for life in all that they do? Our earth, which, might I add, can heal itself, now in a state of an emergency, as our proof for the lack of love for life. What keeps us away from this love is the fear of the unknown. We have gotten used to it and made excuses for it for too long. Time to wake up and grasp a love for life firstly. Just that alone will spring forth so many unexpected shifts in your life. Changing your perspective will help you grasp and maintain a love for life. Yes, there are a lot of things that are happening in the world that are not good at all. I will not discredit that in any way. We remain focused on all this negativity, and we are not paying attention to why it is all happening to begin with. I'm not going to get into my viewpoints on all of that, but I refuse to focus on that. There are so many good things happening in the world right now also. But we don't hear about these things. Within the minds of individuals is the doubt that they can truly make a change. Making changes within yourself, which affects all those around you, which affects all of those around them, does really make changes. It all starts with you, with a simple choice. Take the blame out of your life towards whoever or whatever you're blaming. Let it go. Remove doubt from yourself. Figure out what makes you tick. What your favorite color is. What do you do for fun? What do you enjoy? I'm not talking about your life. I'm talking about within yourself. Are you happy inside by choice, or are you always disappointed and angry at life because you were expecting situations and people to make you happy? Well, you wasted a thought thinking that, didn't you? If you're constantly seeking happiness as an expected outcome, well, you'll remain miserable. Are you walking around as your best you right now? I highly doubt it, seriously. Only you'll know. If you're making excuses for yourself, telling yourself that you are incapable of doing anything, then time for change. We can constantly stay stuck in all the shame and blame games. I used to tell myself that I had better get off the ride and check myself at the gate. I think it's time to explain to you my love for life so you can fully grasp what I mean. I now look forward to waking up to a fresh new day. I love life, and in doing so, I no longer identify as the person who struggled through life. I may not have loved all of my life experience along the way, but I do love that I'm alive, period. If I'm granted a day to make the best of it, I will now do so. What I do love about my past is that it is all a major part of becoming who I am today. Accepting who you are is key to finding a love for life. I mean, total acceptance of who you are. Let me explain. If you want to have a love for life, well, you had better have a love for yourself. To fully love yourself is to fully accept yourself. We all pick apart ourselves. The things we like, the things we don't. You can't do this to yourself. Don't accept only parts of your being. It doesn't work like that. I'm going to use myself as an example. I struggled all my life, born into, lived through, then created a living hell for myself during my life, which I have now turned into heaven. The constant throughout it all was the lack of meaningful things in my life of many ranges. That doesn't mean that I am not entitled to love life now, or shouldn't for that matter. Maybe I had to live such brutal conditions solely to appreciate my love for life now within me. No matter what I've endured, the choice is up to me, nobody else. I had just gotten comfortable suffering. Now I choose not to suffer. I choose to have a love for life which is equally as intense as my hell that I previously lived. So it changes everything for me. I've done the work to learn why I am the way I am. I am forever changing whatever I have to that is unsettling within me at times. I wake up every morning as a new person. Let me explain. Yesterday's lessons in learning bring forth a new person today. I don't carry anything from my today forward, except for the experiencing gratitude of it. You can't change the past. If you're busy hanging on to it, well, then your hands are full. You can't use them to create. I take lessons and the learning forward, not holding on to the past, so that my hands are free the next day to create my new experience with a love for life. I have learned to be thrilled by the unknown. Removing the fear of the unknown was the best thing that I could have done for myself. Thinking this way helps me to embrace every new day, acknowledging the infinite possibilities within that day. Having a love for life gives you an open mind to see things fresh. If you maintain a love for life, you can easily live loving your life, no matter what happens. To be completely honest, though, when you commit to embodying a love for life, well, everything changes. These changes won't come from any person. These changes won't come from any change in person, place, or situation. The change is actually coming from a new perspective. You change, and so does the world. It has worked for me. Embodying a love for life is what made me successful in creating my new state of being. I have never been more grateful for life and my human experience. Chapter 2, Importance for Gratitude. There's nothing more important than being grateful. Way too many people are stuck complaining and whining. Yes, I'm going to say it. I have never heard so many whiny adults in my life as what I hear now. People all have something to whine and complain about. Grateful people don't whine and complain. This is the biggest difference. Check the conversations with your people the next time you engage in a conversation. You'll know right away whether you're speaking to a grateful or ungrateful being. If you're a person who is genuinely grateful for life, well, the last thing you want to do is engage your energy in meaningless conversations with ungrateful people. Unless, that is, that you're capable of using your power and transmuting the conversation into a positive one. Now, that's a whole different book. I was not always a grateful person. Due to living in survival mode for so many years of my life. I had to find ways to alter my lifestyle because my body could no longer go on like that. The wear and tear of the survival mode is real, folks. Just know that. I have had to heal from the edge of death many times. It's my heart that saved me every time, as it knows best. Driven by my determination to become a better version of myself. Each time being reborn from suffering into a purpose. Having to dwindle for more time on earth, I grew more and more grateful. Each time I was given more time for my human experience by the grace of the Creator, well, I was more grateful to be alive. We all take time for granted. This comes from being ungrateful for your time here. When being grateful and coming from a place of heart, nothing is impossible. I'm now very grateful, not only for life, but for absolutely everything. Nothing is excluded. Whether some may view it as negative, I don't believe in negative. I'm forever grateful for the hard times and the learning. Let me break it down. Whenever something arises, I like to look at it as there is something for me to learn, no matter what it is that's happening. Even if the situation is what some would call a bad situation, seeing it from a grateful viewpoint helps you figure it out. Whatever is happening, it's to teach you something about yourself. Life doesn't just happen. We need to acquire certain levels of understanding to carry with us to higher levels of understanding. If you don't acquire these lessons for understanding, you will repeatedly find yourself reliving the situations until you learn the lesson. So knowing that anything is for my learning, I'm grateful for it. Being grateful changes how you see everything. Gratitude is a key player in determining your attitude throughout your life. The people with the worst attitudes towards life are the ones that will say that they have nothing to be grateful for. The funny thing is that these are often the same ones that have had a somewhat easy life in comparison to the rest of the population in general. They have not had to endure trauma, broken homes, molestation, abuse, toxic lifestyles, painful addictions, real struggle, yet they have nothing to be grateful for. These are the ones that have no love for life because they truly haven't experienced it. So they don't know how to be grateful for it. The ones that are ungrateful seem to be the same who know the cost of everything, but know the value of nothing. Grateful is just not a word. Being grateful is a way of life. It is not a workout that you commit to to doing 3 days a week. This is something that you must practice every day. If you aren't used to being grateful, as we all fall from grace, we're human, start by identifying one thing that you are grateful for. Then, commit to adding to it daily. After some time, you will see that you have been actively practicing being grateful, and you will see your list get quite lengthy. We all have to start somewhere. There is such an importance for gratitude in your life. It truly changes so much. Aside from universal love, gratitude is the second strongest frequency that you can vibrate out into this world. This is why I see such an importance for it. Now more than ever, we as a collective could be more grateful for life itself. Be grateful for it all. Taking things for granted produces a lack of abundance in your life. Gratitude manifests all of the heart's desires and produces abundance in all areas of life. Which one do you choose? I feel to remain living in gratitude, to truly be To truly be entirely grateful for everything frees you from any kind of human suffering. I have freed myself of human suffering by becoming grateful for the suffering. Sounds crazy, but it's my personal experience, and it worked for me. Being grateful unshackles you from so much. Seriously, try it. You'll see the immediate change in your life. Don't let a lack of love for life and gratitude determine what you create your future from. Make the changes to embrace becoming your best you. Chapter 3, Getting Real with It. Time to get real with it. Simple. You truly want to be your best you? I see the evidence of this from the fact that you have read up until this point of the book. So let's get on with it then. This is going to be a very real chapter that will make you take a good look at yourself. Through this chapter, I will be using again my personal experience of getting real with myself during my journey. This may provoke a lot of mixed emotions within you. Honestly, you can't heal what you are unaware of that is hurting you. I had no other choice to see things for what they are in my life. This forced me to take a head-on attitude towards anything that I was in denial about. When you fully analyze how you operate as a human on this earth, there are so many different things to question. I had to take a step back from myself and experience. I had to take a step back from myself and experience me operating through life from a bird's eye view. This aspect of things opened me up to so many things that I was doing. Most of the things I wasn't even aware of. Wasn't even aware that I was doing most of the time. This helped me to correct a lot about myself. I was able to identify the people and situations that would trigger certain things within me and how I was responding to it all. From this view, I realized that I was operating through life allowing everything and everybody to be controlling all aspects of my life, and had been allowing it all of my life. What an eye-opener. I quickly realized that this is not the way to function. So I had to get real with myself. I don't mean beat myself up either. I mean get real with my life and myself. If I'm not showing up to be the best person for myself, Well, who is then? The hard truth of that is nobody. Factually, nobody walking around on this planet will know what is your truth, as everyone is unique. Having their own perspectives about life, which really doesn't matter anymore once you get real with yourself and your life. Understand that you should never ask of another person what you can accomplish yourself. This is a big part of it. Stop delegating your life to the hands of others. To start with, don't depend on anybody to help you change your ways. I had to do it alone, and so do you. Once you realize this, then you will not allow people to actively take part in your decision processes about your life. Owning the realness of your life is truly eye-opening. There is no person that can do that for you. There is no person that can do for you to the capacity of which you can do for yourself. Nobody is going to love you as deeply as you can love yourself. Show me one person that will respect you more than you can respect yourself. Show me one friend that is there other than when they need you. These are all things that I had to get real with in my life. To see the realness of your life that you have created for yourself makes you aware that makes you aware that doing what you have done has gotten you to where you are. Truly, at this point, there's no blame in it. There's a lot of learning to be had, though. Don't be angry with yourself once you start to get real with it either. Understand it is all in the learning to go on to a different level of understanding in your life, in life. Get real with how you operate as a person. What is the vibration that you are sending out into this world? Never mind thinking about what everybody else is doing for a minute. Take the focus off of others and put it on yourself. Are you genuinely a good person with good intentions for yourself and others? Or are you a shitty person with shitty intentions? I really am not interested in all the excuses of blaming others either. Getting real with it forces you to stop making excuses for yourself. Take ownership in your part of it all. You've created this for yourself, no matter what it is, so own it. Simple, with no regrets. Regrets have no place in your life once you get real with it. They only do one thing for you, and that is... Regrets have no place in your life once you get real with it. They only do one thing for you, and that is to pay your entrance fee to the pity party down on Nowhere Lane, which is a dead end, if you ask me. Why put any energy into regrets? Learn from all of those regrets and use them as tools for your future. Use them as tools for your future of becoming your best you. If you wish things were different, and this is where regret stems from, then change your life and live in a way that you are not creating regrets for yourself. I would feel that would be the best solution to ensuring that you don't accumulate regrets as if it were debt or something. Nobody wants the accumulation of debt in their life, so why not live to not accumulate regrets either? Understanding the ripple effect on our loved ones forces you to really watch what you're putting out into this world. There's one story that makes me think about the effects of our being on another human. That is the story of the nails in the fence. I'm sure that most of you heard it, But if you don't know this story, look it up. It's a good teaching tool for people. When we are feeling any way, it doesn't matter what it is, we're putting it out to the world. So when you are angry, the world feels it. This affects others. We tend to think this only affects ourselves, and we are wrong in that thinking. Yes, opinions of others don't matter, to be truthful, but what we project onto others matters. It matters more than we think. So check what you are putting out into the world. If you find that others don't react well to you, well, I hate to break it to you, but you had better take a good look at yourself. Don't go on being blind to the possibility that you need to change your vibe. It is not always somebody else who has the problem. It is often us that have the problem, but we just don't take the time to look at ourselves because we're too busy watching what others are doing. So get real with it. It is better that you do some self-regulating before you get regulated, don't you think? Nobody on earth is perfect. Free will is what actually truly gives us each our unique identities. So use your free will to be your best you. This is truly, in my opinion, the biggest priority of my life. Everything else has fallen secondary to that. Getting real with myself is also really taking a good look at what I choose to invest into. I don't mean a monetary way either. I'm talking about my investment of my energy. Whatever I give my attention to is what I'm giving my energy to. I had better put some attention to where I put it then, instead of depleting my energy supply on useless things or unnecessary drama or conflict. I had to realize that there was no bigger investment in life than to invest in myself. Nobody can do that for you. That is the realness of it. What really matters to me is not what I believed had mattered all my life. Once I refocused my energy, how can I wholeheartedly accomplish anything for myself if I'm allowing my energy to be scattered by managing everything but my being? Doesn't work like that. I was never one to tell people no. I was a people pleaser all my life. This was one of the biggest things that I had to learn. I figured that going out of my way to make another one's life easier was just the way to operate. This is until I realized that I should only be helping another when my cup is overflowing. It was difficult to say no because most people take it personally. But I have to invest into myself. In doing so, I was able to fill my own energy source to a point of overflowing. It's in doing this that I may now let flow to others. I had been operating wrong for years. I didn't realize that nobody had been thinking about me at all. People had been solely focused on their need for me. They do not for 1 second think about my needs. So I had to start thinking about myself. I matter just as much as the next one. Not honoring that within myself made it easy for others to take advantage of me. As I never once thought about myself. Well, now I do. And it makes it very easy to say no, when once it had been very hard to do. Close that light, it's getting hot. Getting real also means to take a look at how you have allowed people to treat you. I know personally throughout life, I have allowed and gave people permission to treat me the way that I thought myself to be. I lacked self-respect, so I tolerated the lack of respect. How you feel about yourself truly determines how you let others treat you. If you feel unworthy, you allow people to treat you like you are worthless. If you feel love lacking in your life, well, others will treat you with a lack of love. This is just how it is. So if you want to be treated with love and respect, well then, you have to feel love and respect for yourself. It's that simple. We train others how to treat us by showing them how we treat ourselves. If you want people to treat you with value, well then know and love your value. If you don't learn, you will repeat until you do. So why not be open to learning? This will save you from all kinds of human suffering in the long run. Well, that is unless you choose to continue to suffer. And once again, that's your choice. My experience is meant to be different from yours, yes. But I have a life full of lessons that I have been awakened to. In my learning, I feel in my heart that it is important to help all of those who are interested in actually becoming the best version of themselves. You can keep the mindset that you have entertained, but expect the same constant outcomes in your life. If you've been living by the hormones of stress in survival mode all your life, well then without change, you are rushing to all of the health problems attached to living like that. If you don't get real with who you are as an individual, aside from all that you have been programmed to believe, then you will remain in denial, living an illusion of life, never truly being able to embrace life to its fullest potential. And that is, again, nobody's choice but your own. No life circumstance, situation, or person can shackle you to an existence that you do not want for yourself. You're the only one that can control your outcome of being your best you. Maintaining a love for life as well as applying a daily practice of gratitude until this becomes a way of life is very helpful. Getting real with it opens your eyes to see how you really operate within your experience. Now it's time to open your heart to another viewpoint. This helps me and will help you to become your best you, because truly, it is what it is. So chapter 4, it is what it is. Being who I am, being who I am, being who I am as a person with all of my life experience, I am incapable of being someone who lives within an illusion. Being an empowered empath now has truly helped me deal with the realness of it all. I see things for what they are instead of what I would like them to be. All that personally know me already know that this is one of my favorite sayings. It is what it is. Reminding myself of this constantly helps me not to allow anything to get out of hand. Things get out of hand most of the time because we're living in a time when most humans are living in such a delusional state. They aren't able to any longer see things as they are, seemingly stuck within negative wishful thinking. We've all gotten caught up in the why me or the what if of things. We often put energy into an illusion of what could be instead of what truly is. What a waste of energy. People come up with the most useless excuses to talk about when it comes to explaining to me, when it comes to explaining why they do. People come up with the most useless excuses to talk about when it comes to explaining why they do it also. I would rather not speak at all if I'm not having an inspiring or meaningful conversation. Why would you? When I hear the things that most people come up with, I'm not surprised to see it repeatedly throughout so many. Instead of investing your time and efforts into what should be or what could be, make it be. I see it like it is. I put my time and energy into creating and making my life what it is. We all do. When fully understanding this, then you will be able to make some changes and create some positive to be. We never see things with a clear vision when harnessed comfortably within the past. It is as simple as that. No matter what expected outcome that you desire, as long as you are expecting outcomes, you are simply going about life wrong. The universe, that we are just a small speck of, really knows our bigger plan for our individual experience. It has not forgotten the contract with your soul, even if you've forgotten your soul, even if you have forgotten your purpose for your human experience. We all do, as soon as fear is installed into us. We're not born fearful, yet everything that surrounds and feeds us has the intentions of installing fear into us. I could go on and on for days explaining to you all the ways, but again, this is a book in itself. So I am going to be brief for now. Understand that you have not been the one in full control of your human experience. Well, it is about time that you take control of your human experience. Better late than never. I am again proof of this. For the better of yourself, your life, and for all the people that you do love and appreciate. When you're not in control of your human experience, you are not fully awakened to the infinite possibilities of life. It is what it is. So how is it possible to get the most out of your experience when you are not in control of it? I don't mean having control of your life. Not at all. Quite the opposite, actually. I mean to allow things as they may be. Coming from a place that you trust the universe as to provide the best outcomes for you when you are operating properly within your experience. It is what truly is. If it was truly meant for us to control our lives, we would. But that would have to be in a great exchange. It would be at a disadvantage for a human to control their own life fully. They would never learn anything new. They would create a comfortable constant, not really understanding life to its fullest. Instead of acting accordingly and governing oneself appropriately throughout life, we have been taught and conditioned to react to life. It's as simple as that. Instead of being taught about the feelings of our hearts, we've been pulled away from them. Led to believe our feelings are unjustified. Led to believe our feelings were unjustified. Feelings are never unjustified, as they come from the heart. Thoughts are the things that should have no value to us. Conditioned to believe that we had... Hold on here. Conditioned to believe that we had to thrive to become something or somebody in life. Not ever shown that we really do hold what we really do hold within us. I guess the world would be a different place on all levels if this were the case. Here's some food for thought. Actually, no, it says, here is some food for your thinker. We have existed believing that the brain was in total functional control over our beings. I will never discredit the brain's importance within our physical body to maintain balance on a physical level. Nothing more, nothing less. This is the way our societies have functioned for generations. This is what is taught in school, belief system after belief system, that's been handed down over the many lineages of families. Now think about this. They've had it all wrong. It's as simple as that. So where does that leave us? It leaves us with the need to explore what we are truly made of. Why not? We have nothing to lose at this point. We'd better start seeing things for what they truly are. Especially if science is now saying it is what it is. Magnetic 12-foot range. We're all made up of energy. This is not news. What is news is that the research backs this now. We're living in a time where a lot of knowledge has come into light for us to make changes and to really have the capability to see our experience for truly what it is. Why stay stuck in the patterns of our existence that have been based on the truths of others? This is how I had to approach my life. It is what it is. I did my homework. I did my own research. And with all that I read and learned, there was one constant. We've been operating all wrong. Generations have been taught to exist using their brains to think about everything, yet programmed not to truly feel anything. It's a true shame. The ones who have remained true to their hearts are viewed by society as the outcasts, or the ones not worthy of abundance because they didn't conform. I now understand why I could and will never. I now understand why I couldn't and will never conform, as I now see it all for what it is. I can't change the reality of it. What I can do is embrace a mission of trying to make the necessary changes needed to possibly allow the generations to come with embrace necessary changes to possibly allow the generations to come with the freedom of staying within their feelings, holding on to the true essence of being throughout life without being made to believe the mistakes are the right way. I don't love my life any less when seeing that it is what it is. It inspires me to be the much needed change for so many. These changes will affect many lives to come. We have endured a lot of unnecessary hardships due to the shit handed down to us. It's not their fault, as they themselves don't know better. Now that we do, it's our duty to embrace change and see the world for truly what it is right now. Embrace the unknown, where there are infinite possibilities to create a wonderful life. We are blessed to be earthly beings during a time of such change. Excuse me. We're the game changers. Excuse me. We have to embrace. Okay, we're the game changers. We have to embrace that in order to put smiles on faces and infuse love into the hearts of many who have yet to enter into their human experience. It is what it is, yes, but we can be loving, kind, caring, compassionate, inspiring, motivating individuals in an attempt to flood positive energy to all. This is what is going to make the most profound change in this world. Putting out great positive energy helps the world more than you could realize. When you study how energy really works, you can truly then understand the depth of the connection between us all, which, with so much darkness that surrounds me within the community ghetto housing where I seem to have lived all of my life, I have found myself to be the much needed light for many who needed it. I wouldn't change a thing. Any person who is struggling has yet to become real with themselves as to their true nature. Once you have awakened to your true inner self, which is made up of universal, unconditional love, you will be able to then feel it for yourself, then flow this energy from your being out into the world. People are always lost in their search of real love and happiness until they awaken to the fact that it is within them. When you see things clearly, you will see that it is what it is, with no emotions or judgments attached. When you do, you will start to acknowledge the importance and the need for self-love. And this is where I'm going to leave it off. So, Chapter 5, Self-Love. So this is Your Best You, Choice is Yours. By me, Tobi Staples, copyright 2021. And I will come out and finish this book for you all tomorrow night. I hope that you guys have enjoyed it up until now. And yeah, that's the point of doing it all. Somebody asked me, Tobi, you know, why don't you just promote your books instead of reading it? You know why? Because I didn't write these books to become a well-known author, for billions. I wrote these books to help people get real with themselves and to assist them with their own awakenings and the changes that they need to make for uniquely them. I can't tell you the things that you need to change, but I can assist you to take a look, and I can support you through whatever changes that you're trying to make. So, I love you all. Have a great night. Thanks for coming out to listen to Your Best You. And I'll finish it off tomorrow night. Love y'all. Peace.